Hey guys, good morning from beautiful Mazatlan, Mexico. My name's Dwight Burditt. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back. And I do lots of videos about Mazatlan, Mazatlan's history, Mazatlan's streets, walking through Centro. I do some on, well, my wife is a chef de postres, dessert chef, do some on her cooking. So if that sounds good to you and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I see 60% of my returning viewers haven't subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Anyway, this morning, having said all that, I'm here on Calle Virgilio Uribe, and if you were watching the other day, you'd realize I did a story on this street, and Virgilio Uribe was a famous naval cadet who was involved in the defense of Veracruz against American U.S. occupation back in 1914, and he was killed in that action. And that's why he has a street here named after him. But at the end of that video, I came down here and saw this name and didn't recognize it. And so when I went home, I asked my wife, Lupita, who's pretty knowledgeable on all things Mazatlan, who this gentleman was. Let's see if I can get over the curb. Jose Maria Canizales. She didn't recognize the name. And I thought, well, that's funny. Why does Jose have a street named after him? So I did some research. And if you watch this video today, you'll find out who Jose Maria Canizales was. And I think he's one of the most amazing characters I discovered in my research of Mazatlan history. He certainly has my admiration. So, by the way, we're right here by, I can never think of the name of this church, but it's Mazatlan's oldest chapel. Beautiful little place. The story goes that they built this chapel and they couldn't get the bell up into the steeple. They had no way to do it until the French occupied Mazatlan for a few years, and they had the machinery to lift the bell into place. That's pretty cool. So here we go, down Jose Maria Canizales, and you can see it's a big long street. We're going to walk from west to east across Centro. See what we can see. And I'll tell you the story. So you would think Senor Canizales was a famous general, maybe? Nope. Or a military hero? Nope. Maybe a politician. No, he wasn't that either. But I will get to what he was. And I think you're all going to admire him, and you're all going to know something that most Mazatlecos don't even know. That's what they call Mazatlan residents. By the way, Mazatlecos. And it's a great morning for a walk. It's warm, it's probably 27, 28 degrees. It's August the 12th, 2022. No wind to speak of, but overcast. And comfortably cool. For now, it's early. 9 o'clock in the morning. Check these places out. What a beautiful street to have named after you. And there's some irony in that, and you'll see that as I tell you this story on Jose Maria Canizales. Come on, camera, make it look like I know what I'm doing. There. I did a video last night about comments I received on the channel, and I got one. So, what's happened to you, Dewey? Everybody calls me Dewey, by the way, if you don't know. Your camera work's gone for a shit the last couple videos. And I was just trying something new. Bear with me, that's how we learn. That guy's horn works, he should try his blinkers. Now we're crossing Canizales. And this, I've done a video on this. Oh, and by the way, search through my playlist. I've done a video on hundreds of different topics in Mazatlan. Anything you can think of, you can probably find a video in my playlist that I've done. Even so much as getting robbed at gunpoint. This is the site of the Bombardeo Aéreo on the 6th of May, 1914. They say the first bombing of a city from an aircraft happened right here on this corner. And I actually have a photograph that somebody took of the airplane, a little biplane. And you're just dropping bombs over the edge of the airplane. It wasn't a bomber or anything. And somebody happened to be standing on top of El Ferro, the big hill that the lighthouse is on, when the airplane dropped the bomb. And you got a picture of the aircraft. How cool is that? Anyway, here we go. So I got thinking, who could Senor Canizales be? Politician? Governor? No. A mayor of Mazatlan. No, he wasn't that either. I've done lots of videos here about history. I talked about Cinco de Mayo, the street we're coming up here, the significance of that date. A lot of people think it's Mexican Independence Day, but it's not. So you can look that up on my playlist. I don't think it's called Cinco de Mayo though, I think it's called Zaragoza. Another video, I talked about Generalissimo Zaragoza. So this street cuts right through Centro. Basically, we're heading away from the water, heading over towards the fort. So many, many, many years ago, like I've often wondered how old Mazatlan really is. And looking up the story of Senor Canizales, told me about that. There was recently a conference of teachers and people they call chroniclers of Mazatlan, who are historians who protect and present the culture and history of Mazatlan. They had a conference, and they actually came up with 4 different dates that are the foundational dates of Mazatlan. And I have some notes in my pocket because I can't remember all the dates and all the reasons without looking at my notes. So at one point, I'll dig them out. I'll tell you about that. And the reasons why they have 4 different dates. Some kind of political thing happening down there in the square. I'll give you a hint. One of the dates involves Senor Canizales. He's a famous Mazatleco. So he wasn't a general, wasn't a soldier, wasn't a politician, wasn't a mayor. He was something far more admirable in my eyes. They figure Canizales and his wife Petra were the very first settlers in Mazatlan. Can you imagine? 1806, he comes here by himself, or with his wife and kids actually, as the first settlers in Mazatlan. That's incredible. There'd be nothing here. None of these streets, the Mazatlan, no shops, no stores. Like, how did the guy friggin' survive? And Petra, I know the name originates from the Greek for rock, Peter in the male version, but Petra is still widely in use in German-speaking countries, Finland, Sweden, Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, and Slovakia now. So, although it doesn't say in any of the research I looked through, it looks like they were literal immigrants from probably Germany. Came by themselves and lived here. So at the time that they lived here, this area was called the port by the locals. And to this day, a lot of the locals still refer to this as the port. And Mazatlan was actually Villa Union, which is a small village about 30 minutes from here, 30 minutes south of here. And that was Mazatlan in most people's eyes at the time. And this was just the port. And it was a wilderness area. So some of the dates, I can remember some of them. Not so much the dates, but later dates than 1806 were based on political things like the Cortes de Cádiz, which was the Spanish Parliament, decided to reinforce the garrison at Mazatlan, but of course referring to Mazatlan as Villa Union as Mazatlan. And that was like 1827, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so they said, oh, there's the founding of Mazatlan. But it wasn't really, it wasn't even the right place. And the other dates, I really don't want to dig in my pocket to go into a whole bunch of detail. Probably just bore a lot of people, but there are political things like that. The garrison, this. One was when a governor declared the port open for international trade, although there wasn't much of a port at the time. They said, that's the start of Mazatlan. But in my mind, it wasn't. It was when Jose Maria Canizales and his wife Petra and children were the first homesteaders here. Like, how cool is that? What kind of a man was this? Jeez, who does that? And they were successful. Because years later, a newspaper interviewed one of his daughters. In 1875, a newspaper interviewed his daughter. So she was a child in 1806. 1875, she would have been at least in her 60s. And she said, yeah, when Mom and Dad and us kids moved to Mazatlan, there was nobody there. We were the only homesteaders. I mean, talk about guts. I've done some of my own adventures, like riding down to South America on my motorcycle. But that's nothing in comparison. That's, man. Buenos días. But, hombre, trabajando fuerte. Buenos días, amigos.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's so cool. People in Mazatlan are so nice. Yeah, so for him to think he could come and homestead in Mazatlan, like basically by himself out here in the wilderness, where would you get water? How would you deal with the heat? What did he build for shelter? I'm afraid all that's lost to history. Ooh, steep hill. So when I think of all the streets that are named for obvious reasons, Zaragoza, Big General, Benito Juarez, a former president, neighborhood Lázaro Cárdenas for a former president, that all makes sense. But for a guy that was all guts and was the first president of Mazatlan, man, that's cool. We're coming down to this little yellow chapel. I've looked down this street so many times and wondered exactly where this was. Now we're going to find out. Look at this big guy, chilling like a villain. Where are you? I can't get you in frame. There you are. Oh, too close for comfort. Hazard of using my gimbal. Scares the kitties. Oh yeah, I started to say about people commenting, and somebody commented on my videos going for crap. One of the things about walking around with a camera on a gimbal, people just aren't that familiar with gimbals, and when they see them, they kind of like, gee, what's he doing? And they shy away from your camera. So I tried to do some videos just holding the little camera, especially walking through some of the tougher neighborhoods here. I can just palm the camera and hide it. Nobody knows I've got it. Look at some of these beautiful little homes here. And but today I've got the gimbal, so you should have a nice steady picture. I've often thought of investigating rentals in this area. There's got to be some good deals here. Yeah, back from where we started out, you can see the spire on this yellow church. And I've often wondered where it was. I've never walked down the length of this street before. Buenos dias. Beautiful lady waiting for the bus. Now, this is pretty cool. It's all covered in tile, like another church here in town. Buenos dias. I like what I'm seeing of this neighborhood. This is cool. It's a real Mexican neighborhood. Friendly people. Nicely kept houses. Beautiful flowers. This lady picking them out of her tree. Little shops. And the tienda. So cool. So if you got this far in the video, now you know who Jose Maria Canizales was, and you know something I'll bet you most Mazatlecos simply don't know. This is raised sidewalk. That's got to be 20 feet up. It's funny how they dealt with the hills. I guess they just didn't. You can see the big bedrock underneath there, so they didn't blast that out. They just built up over. Oh, I'm glad I came down here. This is a nice walk. I looked on the map, and this street ends at a T intersection. And it looks like we're coming to the end down the next block. Yeah, there's some nicely fixed up homes here. Look at this one with all the big tile for siding. Yeah. So guys, thanks for coming on this walk today. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, share it on your YouTube or on your Facebook rather, whatever you use, WhatsApp. There's the brewery over there. That big tower in the back, that's the Pacifico Brewery. Yeah, share it on your social media. Tell your friends that are interested in Mazatlan, hey, check out my t-shirts. Buy a t-shirt. I'm going to make a couple new designs probably this week. Get your own Mazatlan t-shirt. Some kind viewer says, oh man, they're expensive. Well, I don't set the prices. The people that make the shirt set the prices, and then they add on a few bucks for me. It's to raise funds for the channel. It's not to compete with Walmart. So if you want to help the channel, that's a good way to do it, and you get a t-shirt out of it too. Or a coffee mug, or an insulated mug, or whatever your little heart desires. Well, that's it for now, guys. That's the end of the line. I don't know what this cross street is. And I don't see a sign anywhere. Anyway, we're there. Now I'm going to walk back. Thanks for coming with me. That's all for now. Goodbye from Mazatlan. See you soon.